Welcome back, week 5, Together We Can. This week, there's lots and lots of young voices in here. We're meeting some new apprentices you've not met before. We're meeting Ollie, we're meeting Molly, we're meeting Harley, we're meeting Tegan, we're meeting Jack. We're catching up with Frankie again. Lots of young voices telling us why they want to be at apprentices. It's really, really empowering to be listening to them and working with these young people. And I chose today to start week 5 off as I've been tracking my journey really from where I came from at my old junior school, and my old infant school actually, and where I first came across bullying. A little bit of a negative to start this week, but I think we're suffering a little bit about bullying. And I was thinking about, when did that start? Well, in effect, for me, it started here in this school, because I think like many kids, I was bullied. I think like some kids, I might have been a bully. I don't know. But there's that banter when you're kids. You're in the playground, the big kid sort of maybe picks on the little kid. And I know I got bullied. But what's unacceptable, it's unacceptable at school, but it's unacceptable in the workplace. And today when we catch up with Greeny, we've had a little chat about this, because we've had some stuff going on this week where we've been suffering, and some of our people that work for us, some of our managers are being bullied by other managers. And I think we just need to take a moment to think about the industry, what we're doing. I know suicide rates are really high in our industry, something we're going to talk about a little bit more with some people that really know what they're talking about. But me and Greeny will touch upon that later. But this week, it's not a negative. This is a positive. This is young people having their voice on their way to a great career in this industry that we absolutely love. And I'm sure many of the people who are watching love it. But maybe, reflecting on about what it was like for you at junior school or senior school and bullying and stuff. Please make some comments. Be really interested to know what your thoughts are, how we can prevent it going forward. And let's face it, it's not acceptable out here in the school. Certainly not acceptable in the workplace either. So enjoy the episode. Next week, I will promise I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the development of Site Ready Solutions and some really fantastic news around about funding. But for this week, it's about the young people, it's the voices. Together we can. Thank you.
Tegan, what first made you want to get into bricklaying? Like, what's your origin story?
So I just wanted to work outdoors really and have a creative job.
Yeah, why bricklaying? You could have been, I don't know, gardener.
Yeah,
Carpenter.
I guess so. No, my granddad was a bricklayer, so I just sort of went down that path. I've worked with him when I was like younger, as the odd little job. But yeah, so here I am.
Jeez. Thinking back to when you first started, how much do you feel you've grown since then? Because you've been laying bricks, what, 2 years now?
Yeah, nearly 2 years. I think I've come on a long way. I think having a good mentor probably has improved myself.
Would you say that that's the biggest difference that has been made in your growth so far, having a good mentor?
Yeah, definitely. You can't learn the trade on your own.
And what do you look for in a mentor? Like, what have you found has been really good in a mentor?
I think having like a good medium of being friends with them, and then they can also tell you the right things to do, like a strict sort of side of them too. So yeah, to get taught properly really.
What part of bricklaying would you say you're the most confident in now?
I think just laying to a line. I just don't know how you can go wrong with that, to be fair.
You can't go wrong with that. Fair. What areas of bricklaying would you say you're working on still after 2 years?
I do think still setting up. I've come a long way with setting up, but obviously there's things you still need to know. Needs to be a bit switched on when it comes to like gauge and stuff like that, certain heights. Obviously I don't read drawings, so I think, yeah, I'd like to learn how to read drawings, I guess.
What keeps you motivated to keep going out on site when it gets tough?
Money.
Does it pay well, bricklaying?
Yeah, it's good pay, yeah.
Yeah. Do you get paid more than your friends are getting paid at the moment?
No, I don't.
No.
Oh, what, outside of work?
Yeah. So your other, not in your
Oh,
bricklaying
no, I
friends,
don't.
like your
No,
other
I
friends that
don't,
are
to
out
be
there.
fair. Then my friends do really well for themselves, so like, it's a bad example. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is money your driver then for?
I think
for
so.
this?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not a fully qualified. Like, I'm not a bricklayer. Full stop. I'm an improver still. So I think I'm still on improver money, but obviously there's so much more to work for. I'm not on the highest salary, whatever, going. So, but I think in the long run, then maybe, yeah, I might earn more than my friends, who knows?
Yeah. Looking ahead, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, what's your goal in bricklaying or maybe in construction?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunities that you can go for. I guess being like a mentor myself, I could be a supervisor or anything. You could be a site manager, anything. I don't know
What
yet.
would you want to be? Because obviously you said at the beginning that you want to work outdoors. Like if you became a site manager or whatever, you'd probably
Yeah,
have to work in
I
an
guess
office.
so. Yeah, but then it'll be all right in winter. But yeah, I guess you still come outside though, don't you? So yeah, I don't know. I just go with the flow until I want to change careers. Really, I'm happy as I am now, so why not?
Fair. And if you had a piece of advice for someone starting out on their apprenticeship or their training journey into bricklaying, what would be the biggest piece of advice you'd give them?
I think doing an apprenticeship for sure, because you're learning on site, and I think that's the only way you can really learn a trade. And then whilst obviously going to college, but you're getting paid while you're doing it. So yeah, I think an apprenticeship.
Decent. Thanks, Steve.
Cool.
1, 2, 3. I'm here at Herne Bay here with Ollie Staines, one of our apprentices. So yeah, Ollie, how you getting on, mate? Good?
Yeah, good. I'm enjoying it. Progressing a lot more now. Kind of trying to be in charge a bit more. Just focusing on that.
Well, the first thing, Ollie, so me and Bill are here today and we're working with yourself, Frankie, Molly and Harley. And I've been really impressed of how you've excelled, grown as a bricklayer, to be fair. So even this morning, working yesterday, setting up profiles. And we spoke this morning, and I spoke to you about taking the lead, and which you've done. You're organising me, you're organising your apprentices there, you know. I think from my feelings is, yeah, you can clip your wings and run a little gang. How do you feel yourself?
Yeah, that's certainly something I want to do. Be in charge, and it's another way of learning, you know. You make a mistake, you fix it yourself, and you realise that everything now is on you, and you don't have to rely on anyone else.
No, exactly. And like I say, look round, clean cavities, your work. Say, good standard of work up here. And I think as a bricklayer, to progress, you need to be pushed your boundaries, you know. It's like mentoring is so important. You get to a stage where you can fly, you know. You make the decisions. And I say, what I'm seeing here today, you're mentoring the apprentices we've got. So this is something I want you to continue doing. Yeah. Say, me and Bill are only here today. We're going to leave you to finish this lift. Comfortable doing that?
Yeah, certainly.
That's good. That's good. That's what we want. Keep up the good work, Ollie. Well
Cheers,
done,
Greeny.
mate. Bye.
Ed, when did you start your bricklaying career?
So I started my bricklaying career as an apprentice with GSQ, and that was in September of last year. For anyone who's watching, that's 2024.
September 24. Okay. Well, let's get into your origin story. What made you want to be a bricklayer?
Well, to be honest, I actually didn't start off like this. I started off going to university, doing the typical route. I got good grades, did my A-levels, went to university, and I studied originally to be a biologist, and that's what I started off working as. However, I was a couple of years into that career, and the problem was that there's not very much money in it. It was an NGO type career, and whilst it is very rewarding, I like being outside, working with my hands, there just wasn't much money in the whole thing, so I decided to make a little switch. And then I started actually working as a product manager over at a firm that sold on Amazon. So working with Amazon for a couple of years, all the way through the pandemic and COVID, I found that whilst it was decent money, I missed being outside, and it was driving me absolutely crazy being in an office all the time, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And it was, my mental health was being affected, so I wanted to get back, find a career where I get back outside, but hopefully still make a little bit of money. And I actually just happened to meet a bricklayer at a party, started talking to him about what his career was like, what the job's like. And honestly, I'd never considered it before. But after speaking to him, it sounded really appealing to me. So that's when I kind of made the dive and quit my job over at Amazon and started working instead as a labourer on site very briefly. And then after being a little bit as a labourer on a construction site, I decided I really liked it and I made the dive, applied for an apprenticeship with GSQ, and there I was.
Decent. That is an unusual route into the construction industry, but a good route nevertheless. Your motivation for starting, being outside, working outside, working with your hands, has that changed at all since you first started? Because obviously you started in September, so you've had a whole winter. Has that changed at all in the dark depths of January?
Honestly, a lot of people have asked me, you know, do you miss being in the office? Do you regret being in the office? Especially when it's January, it's freezing cold and it's maybe raining or even like a bit of sleet. And to be honest, not really. I still, you know, obviously it's not as nice as being out here in the summer, but even a terrible day like that on site, it's still, to me, it's a lot better than being in an office. So you're still part of a team, everyone's having a laugh, you're all suffering, you know, and it's a good feel at the end of the day.
Well, the team's bit is interesting. So you are part of a team. Obviously, you're still in your apprenticeship. How does that work for you? Like, what are the benefits of being in a team, and what do you learn from the rest of the team?
I think, especially with an apprenticeship like this, because it's all very hands-on and you only really learn by actually doing it, it's absolutely crucial that you are part of the team. And to say to us, like, what you learn from the rest of the team, you kind of learn everything, really. Everything from the craft, how to lay bricks and all this, and the attitude. And I think a lot of apprentices will pick up the attitudes of the people that they work with. So you kind of learn, it's crucial to be part of the team because you always work as a team. You're not going to be working by yourself. You'll be working with 2 or 3 or even 4 other guys. That's before you start thinking about your foreman and other trades and stuff like that on site. But you're always actively working with at least 3 or 4 other guys. And you're going to, during your apprenticeship, you'll pick up all of your skills, everything from your team, really.
And talking about attitude, that's quite important on site. What sort of attitude do you need to have to sort of get on in this industry?
Honestly, I think it's very cliche, but as long as you work hard and turn up every day and turn up on time, you're going to be fine. That's kind of, as long as you're willing to put the hours in, all right, and you actually turn up, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. People are quite forgiving. As long as they see that you're actually trying and you have a good attitude and you're turning up every day and you're not moping about on your phone, you're actually probably gonna have a very successful career.
It's crazy that seems like a really low bar.
It is. No, it is.
but you've obviously worked in other industries before you came into this one, and that insight is really interesting because, you know, you're still in your 20s and you've sort of worked that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Being in the industry now, in terms of bricklaying, what's the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
Listen to people that know more than you do. Listen to experienced people. I mean, even if you're getting different opinions, because everyone does a little bit thing differently, something might actually work better for you than for another person. So it doesn't matter what's telling you. If they know what they're doing and their work's good, always listen to what they're saying, because their insight's probably invaluable. It's something that might take you years to learn, but they're telling you right now. You know, I would say listen to other people that, yeah, just listen to the other guys on site that are giving you advice. If they're taking the time to give you some advice, then listen to it. It's the least you could do.
Yeah, some people call that mentorship. Have you had any mentors that have really stood out? You don't have to give names or anything,
Yeah.
but have really stood out for you when you've been working on site?
Yeah, I'd say I can definitely think of 2 individual people who have been excellent to me on site, and they've taught me an awful lot of the stuff that I currently.
You are allowed to say their names. I just didn't want to sort of.
Oh, sure.
press
No,
you into that if
so
you
the main guy is my mentor, Steve. He's been excellent. He's taught me most of my actual trowel craftsmanship type of thing, and he's taught me that your work does need to be quite good. A lot of work isn't, you know, unfortunately. Not everyone's very neat and tidy, but it is very good to be neat and tidy. It's better to have work that's not going to be pulled than kind of deal with it when it is. And my old foreman, Maz, he's been a big influence on me because he's also a very tidy bricklayer, and he always takes the time to teach me things, and yeah, I really appreciate him as well.
And what is the thing that you've learned the most valuable lesson though in that? Do you know, apart from sort of turning up every day, things like that, like what is your mentors, not what do they teach you, but like what is it about how they teach you that you personally sort of respond to?
I think the most important thing, and I think a lot of apprentices, if you're being taught something and you don't actively see them doing it, you know, you kind of think, well, come on, why would I do that? But you know, if someone's telling you to be tidy and they're rough, okay, then you're probably not going to take that on board very well. Whereas if someone else is actually very, very good at what they do, they're very neat, they're very tidy, you see them doing all the things they're telling you to do, you're going to start doing them too. I would say that's probably the biggest factor here, and a lot of gap, probably a big gap in quite a lot of teaching.
Back at Herne Bay again, and we've got Molly here, one of our apprentices who, Bill, she's done her MVQ.
Just completed their MVQ, yeah.
So,
through the MVQ assessment on the site.
So first thing, Molly, like looking at your work, on the scroll through on your work there, it's been a pleasure working with you. Like only working together yesterday, like me and Bill on the trail with you, and yeah, I want you to tell me a bit about you now.
Well, I think I got into bricklaying because it was something creative, something fun. There's so many ways you can go with it, so you can either sit here and keep at certain levels, or you can get further on with it. So I like that it's not really just stuck in one place.
Good.
So you can go so many different directions with it. You don't even have to stay on the tools or anything like that. You can go into management. There's just so many different like options for it. So there's like it's a wider horizon that you can regulate jobs.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And what's your end goal? What is your end goal?
Just take your jobs.
Bill.
If I want this green hat, no more want a black hat.
No, well, that is brilliant, and that's what I like. So, you know what you want. You're learning your trade. You're doing well at your trade. Like I say, it's important. Listen to us as mentors, but you can do it. I can see, like, looking at your work there, nothing wrong with your work at all. Neat. You've again, as I just said to Bill, you've been reminding me and Bill about wall ties. So we might be a bit old in the game now. But
Keep a fresh mind on it.
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. This is what this industry needs, you know. So you're excelling for us, and I'm looking forward to our handing our armbands over to you. Well done, Molly. Good work.
Next time.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Thank you.
Jack,
Yeah.
what first made you want to get into bricklaying?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Come on, this is your origin story.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is like, I don't
I'll be
know,
honest.
Wolverine origins.
I just saw it. I've always wanted to do something in construction, and I saw an opportunity for apprenticeship, and I just sort of went for it. I did plumbing at college, couldn't find an apprenticeship, and there was an opportunity for an apprenticeship, so I thought, if I don't do it now, I might miss out. And I haven't really looked back since.
And how long have you been laying bricks now? When did your apprenticeship start?
October 23, so just under 2 years, pretty much.
And has your motivation for choosing a trade changed since you started?
No, I'd still love it.
Yeah?
I have days where I hate it,
What do you hate about it when you...
which when it goes wrong.
Yeah? What goes wrong about it? Because we had a chat a minute ago about you didn't even have to take some work down. You decided to take it down yourself because it wasn't as good as it could be.
Yeah.
Talk me through that.
It's just sort of the pride you have sort of in your work, and that sort of like, when you look at something and you say, that's my work, you want it to look good. And people are like, all right, yeah. Instead of them looking at it and think, right, okay, well.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
21.
21.
Yeah.
Most 21-year-olds don't think like that.
Yeah.
They don't, or maybe that's unfair. Some 21-year-olds don't think like that, and they maybe don't quite take as much pride in their work, maybe as you do. So what do you think sets you apart from other people?
I don't know, I wanted just to produce a good bit of work that I'm happy with, and I can sort of show off and say, that's mine, I did that. It's to a good standard, and yeah.
Fair. Well, thinking back to that wonderful day in October 2023 when you started, how much do you feel like you've grown since then?
Quite a lot. Do you know what? More in sort of just a confident sort of, actually, like, I was quite quiet when I first started, didn't really, but having to work with people like Ryan, you sort of have to come out of your shell a bit, because
they just sort of bring it out of you, and then
Yeah. Well, Ryan's obviously a big character.
He is a very big
on site and around site. What do you think has made the biggest impact on you? Is it the people?
yeah, I'd say so. I think the people sort of make it, like whether you enjoy work, the people sort of make whether you enjoy it or not. But I love working by myself, but then again, working with people is also it's a good laugh usually, and the people I've worked with have always been helpful. So I've always been able to ask questions and do whatever. Like if I need help, they can always come over and help me, which is
Some people call that mentorship.
yeah.
Have you had any good mentors? You don't have to name them, but how has having mentors around you really helped?
It helps massively, just sort of being able to ask someone and understand things better and get a better idea of what you're doing, what not to do, why you're doing it as well. So
What's the most valuable lesson you've learned whilst being on a building site?
do you know it's all right to make mistakes? It happens, and 9 times out of 10 it's quite easily fixable, or like it's not that hard to actually make amends to it, so it's fine if you make a mistake, it's fine.
That's really good. That's really insightful, mate. What part of bricklaying are you most confident in now? What would your most confident skill be?
Ooh. I don't know.
Is it, I don't know, is it laying to the line? Is it jointing up? Is it building corners? What would you say you're best at? What would other people say that you're the best at?
I don't know. I'm quite good at laying to the line, I think, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you still working on? What's your like number one thing that you'd be working on at the moment?
Probably keeping my area tidy as I go along and working in a cleaner workspace and just being a bit more efficient with some things that I do and not wasting so much movement doing little things. Like when you're taking the muck off your bed, like when you've laid your brick and take the muck off, instead of putting it down and then to put up your next brick, you use that muck to put up your next brick, if that makes sense.
And is that something you taught yourself, or you just learned by yourself, or is that something that sort of people have been embedded in you?
Yeah, just sort of seeing other people doing it and seeing the speed they're laying at and all that.
Well, what keeps you motivated to keep going?
Money.
Money?
Yeah.
Well, even when it gets tough, the money?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah? Is that a big driver in the construction industry, do you think?
What, money? Yeah. I'd imagine so. Imagine most people are here for the money.
Is it good money?
Yeah, it's good money.
Yeah. Well, looking ahead then, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, what's your goal in bricklaying or construction?
To move to Australia.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you want to be a bricklayer in Australia?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll set you up with Alex from home. He's the Super Trail guy from Australia.
Oh yeah.
Why Australia?
I just think it'd be really cool to live out there.
Yeah?
I think something different.
Oh, fair. And what, you'd like to get a job out there as a bricklayer?
Yeah. It's a great reason to.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
For sure. Oh, awesome. Well, thanks, mate.
Back at Herne Bay, and we've got Harley here now. He doesn't even want to speak to me. I can't get him to stop working. So, have you finished that joining up, Harley?
Yeah, can be.
Right. So, listen, you're working with me and Bill today. You got Molly, we've got Ollie and Frankie, 2 older apprentices. So you're going through your MVQ at the moment, which is really good. Looking at your work, you've been working with her the last 2 days. Good standard work, you're listening to what we say. So that's credit to you. But yeah, you talk about yourself now. How'd you get into bricklaying?
Well, after school I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And I enrolled into North Kent, the bricklaying college, and they took me on. And then I've just enjoyed it. It's quite therapeutic every time you lay. It's nice.
Yeah, no, see, I think
It's just enjoyable.
well, that's good. And I think you started more on the STO role, doing a lot more labouring at first for us. And you've been, you got your brick buddy now. You're laying bricks and blocks. You were working with me on the line yesterday, and you laid a decent brick. So that's credit to you. Keep listening to what we're telling you, learning. But what's your end goal from this?
I mean, I wouldn't mind being a supervisor. I think I would very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm aiming for.
Yeah, well, that's good. So I'd say keep learning your trades, listening, brains a sponge, take everything in, laying a good brick and block. World's your oyster, mate. You know, we need bricklayers in this industry, which is good. All right, so credit to you, Ha. Well done, buddy. Cheers, mate. Beat.
Come across, Greeny.
Sorry, mate. We'll come get a bit close, bit closer, mate. Isn't it? To be fair.
Greeny, this is the 5th week we've sat down and had a little chat about our industry.
I can't believe 5 weeks has just flied like that. To be fair.
Well, we've committed for 3 years, so there's a few more weeks to go.
Yeah.
Something that's been on my mind this week, and just really in an overall word, is bullying.
Horrible thing in this trade. It really is horrible. And the bullying can be the way you're spoken to on site, an email, like out of hours. People left us still on that all night. But even when you're working with someone and you're spoken wrongly to, you take it a different way. We're both strong people. There's a lot of people in this industry who are not strong.
Yeah, I said earlier about the fine line between bullying and banter, but I see it too much of this aggressive speaking, and I'm really worried about the mental health at the moment within our industry.
People don't need it. People are under enough pressures. But we don't know what people are going on in their own lives. And then when you're getting shouted at by a senior person at work, and then I always say, no one's died. Yeah. It may be a wall tie missing. It may be not having enough bricklayers on site. You know, there's silly things, but we're spoken to like dog's dinner, a polite way of putting it, really.
It's that I was witness to a phone call this week, actually 2 phone calls, and they weren't to me, but it was to someone that I was in the same car as them, and the absolute aggressive tone. I mean, it's just there's an aggressive tone, but this was swearing every other word.
It shouldn't be.
And like you said, no one had died.
Yeah.
And hands up. Actually, we had a couple of RIs on a job, which is pretty rare for us, but also it's very acceptable. Like I say, obviously I work very closely with the NHBC. Yeah. We're always trying to drive our quality up, but now and then we're going to get RIs.
It happens. We build we've got 200 blokes. We build a lot of houses a week. We're not machines. RIs happen. We're in an industry when we're thriving for the best. An RI don't make it a bad house. But I can understand they're under pressure. They're under pressure from their bosses. But there's got to be a line that you can't cross.
Yeah.
Because I am worried what's going to happen to someone who takes it wrongly, goes home. You hear about suicide in this industry, and I can see how it happens. I felt low at times, it happens.
No, 100%. And I think, we're talking about here, the mental health pressures, and we're not experts at this, so, apologise, but we're seeing it in construction, we're seeing it on our building sites. Here we've got a playground behind us, Playground's not acceptable either for bullying, but, kids can be kids out here.
Yeah.
We're grown-ups out on a building site. I want people to accept that. I've been, sometimes I could be quite quick on the, with a quip or an answer back.
Yeah.
But let's try to work together to get on better. I mean, I really want to see this stop aggressive phone calls, the WhatsApp beyond working times.
So that's wrong, to be fair, because what can you do about it when you're not at work? Because I say my worst one is, I'll always say, emails out of hours. And there's certain people, I've had emails on a Friday night, 7 o'clock at night. You used to do that whole weekend.
Yeah. What, saying you must do something on Monday?
But not even having a go, you can't defend yourself. Because most people ain't got their phones on. And I don't want to send an email back. I don't want to get into email wars. But that's pressure. And we don't need that pressure.
No.
Do you know what I mean? We don't need... You're going to bed thinking about work. The weekend should actually be thinking about the weekend. Yeah.
So, as previous, we've talked about a little bit of a subject in each week, and I hope it's okay for our viewers that we talked about bullying a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, think to yourself about what it's been like out on site with you, whether you're a senior manager, whether you're someone new to the industry, and let's try to think about how we connect with each other a bit more, yeah?
I really do. I think this subject, will get a lot of comments, to be fair, because it happens in all walks of life. You don't have to be a bricklayer, but bullying needs to be stamped out, without doubt,
So I think, hopefully, we talk about something really positive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a really good week this week.
It's been a great week. I say I've had 2 days on the trail actually working with apprentices in the team. It's been brilliant. It's nice to get my tools out again, but it's also I've been being dictated by apprentices, pro-level apprentices, and some first-year apprentices. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. You know?
Excellent. Keeps us on our toes.
Top, yeah.
And you know what? The thing I've learned massively this week talking to a lot of apprentices is that their voice really does matter. They are really ambitious and keen.
They're the future. They are the future, mate.
And let's try to make them real well-rounded people.
No.
That they're not the bullies of the future.
And they won't be, because they're being taught right, and hopefully we're bringing up in the industry the nice side of the industry, that everyone's proud about what you build.
Cheers, Greeny. 5 weeks in.
5 weeks in.
Top man.
Looking forward to the next. See you later.